This is an interceptor drone. This is a fully autonomous payload truck. This is not eastern Ukraine, it's Mount Maunganui, and these are getting built now, today. Syos Aerospace is the business and it is expanding rapidly with government contracts. CEO founder Samuel Vai says, "We've put all the pieces of the puzzle together to allow Syos to ultimately become the next Rocket Lab sized company." I spoke to Sam in his Mount Maunganui warehouse.
Our initial contract actually was with the Royal Navy, where we were able to do a trial of our SA-200 helicopter. And that was actually the first little contract we had, it was a year and a half ago, we won that. But directly off the back of that, the Syos's reputation came through as a company that delivers, which I'm obviously really proud to share, and the team here are incredible, the team both here and our UK team. So from the back of that helicopter project, we then were requested to bid on some other projects, and we decided to throw our hat in the ring on some other tenders. And we just turned up and said, look, we know our engineering, we know how to deliver, and we didn't come at it from a marketing point, but suddenly our reputation for delivery and developing cost-effective systems rather than focusing on exquisite allowed us to win a number of other projects, which obviously further progressed into this £30 million contract that was highlighted from the UK government. So in we go. So in here we have the all of the smaller drone systems that we're doing, from interceptor drones to quadcopters. We even see a lot of the old target drones that we've destroyed previously. So here's a victim of our interceptor. Syos has really rapidly grown over the last 18 months from half a dozen people through to now we have just over 110 people across multiple countries. Obviously Europe, we've got a New Zealand base here. Here in Mount Maunganui is obviously the Syos headquarters. It's the predominant R&D site as well, but we are now establishing a production site before the end of this year in Mount Maunganui. This is the SA-1. We do all the naming conventions based on number, designates kind of the size. So SA-200 carries 200 kilos, it's big. SA-1, small, small platform. And the SA, Syos Air, Syos Marine SM. So ultimately the SA-1 is an interceptor drone.
Do you think the NZDF is a bit behind the play with drones and uncrewed vehicles?
So definitely NZDF are, through with what they've highlighted in the DCP, they've got their eyes out to what's happening around the world, the geopolitical situation, how drones are being used in Ukraine. So actually through the DCP, NZDF is rapidly accelerating their review, their test and evaluation, and as well as acquisition of drone systems. So, I can share we are actively in discussions with NZDF around a multitude of their requirements as well. But bear in mind, New Zealand is a different domain, sort of geographical context than what is in Ukraine. Obviously, we're not at war. But we also do have a huge EEZ, a huge amount of maritime environment to look after. So this helicopter carries 200 kilos, flies autonomously, flies for 2 hours, and we actually have a trial upcoming with the British Royal Navy, where we are doing autonomous takeoff and landings from the back of a Navy ship.
What are the benefits of a local manufacturer?
Yeah, so ignoring the sort of economic development that would be beneficial to going with a New Zealand supplier, there's really two things that I think come to my mind for what NZDF would be looking at. Firstly is picking products, equipment, tools that can adequately do the job that they need for the budget. And the second thing is just considering supply chain risk. Not just where the vehicle is produced, but that system, subsystem, and component supply chain through all the way upstream. Because if suddenly a vehicle required one specific exquisite component that came from a country that suddenly shut its export of that component, you wouldn't be able to produce that vehicle. So NZDF are being smart around thinking, okay, we need to ensure that the systems that we're getting have that supply chain resilience, but it's a balance between that and cost as well.
And what's the top speed and range?
For the ground vehicle will go over 200 kilometres in terms of its endurance range. And top speed, it will do over 100 kilometres an hour. So it's a bit of a mean machine.
What are your plans for expansion here in Mount Maunganui?
So we're going to add a lot of jobs, okay, to our site here in Mount Maunganui. It is linked to how many procurement contracts do come through from New Zealand as well as the APAC, Asian Pacific region. But certainly, look, we'll be tripling our workforce here over the next 12 months.